Hi folks, back again. Bathrobe Chronicles number 62. This one should be fun. Anyway, a pal of mine is, as we speak, is trying to meet someone using the personals. And, excuse me. Anyway, years ago, by the way, you see this head popping up? My puppy is loose. So, oh well, what can I say? Anyway, where was I? Yeah, years ago, I remember, let me see, this goes back, maybe 30 years or so. A friend of mine came to me and was telling me that he was placing ads and answering ads in the personals. And back in those days, of course, there was no internet. And I guess most decent-sized towns, whatever that means, have these free newspapers, you know, that you find them all over the city. The one that we had at the time primarily had, you know, entertainment kinds of things, ads for restaurants, restaurant reviews, movie reviews, personal interest pieces and things of that nature. Anyway, but it had a huge personal ad section. And he was telling me he was doing this. And at the time I said, oh gosh, poor guy. I mean, you know, to stoop to that, I didn't say that, but you know what I mean. You know, things are pretty bad. Well, subsequently, I was in a position where, you know, I wanted to meet someone, whatever. And I decided that actually it was perfect, because all you would do is describe yourself and put down who you wanted to meet. And I mean, it couldn't be any better than that. You know, that's just the way it was. And in those days, you could do this one of two ways or both ways. You could have, there would be some kind of special phone code or something in the ad, and they would call some number and something would happen. Or the way that I did it is I requested that I hear from them in writing. You know, so anyway. And what the people would do who wanted to answer an ad is they would write the letter, they'd put like the box number or what have you on it, take $1 and send this baby off, and when the newspaper got it, they in turn would address it to you and you would get this letter. So, first off, you know, when you sort of look at these ads, they're kind of interesting. I found that a lot of, in fact, most of the ads, they made these people seem to be perfect, absolutely perfect. And, you know, you wonder if you're that perfect, you know, why are you out there writing these personal ads? Then I noticed there was this commonality, for lack of a better word. You know, all the women who would, oh, by the way, this, obviously I'm a guy and I was looking to meet someone who was a woman or girl, whatever. However, and that's going to be the perspective of this Chronicles, so to speak. However, you know, if you're a dude looking for a dude or a babe looking for a babe or whatever, I think all of this would apply, you know, regardless. So anyway, with that said, I'll continue on. So these people all seem perfect. And I also noted that most of the ladies, they had this stuff in there about, oh, let me see, walk on the beach, sit in front of fireplaces, candlelit dinners, and so forth and so on. Then they would have what I thought was a name, dine in or dine out. I mean, where in the hell else do you dine? Like up on the roof or something? And cuddling and all this other stuff. And then a lot of the folks would put in their friends first, as if, you know, the average guy who's looking for a real relationship, whatever that means, is going to, you know, feel like the first date you're going to do, you know what. So anyway, I decided that if the way to write an ad is to sit down and think for a while and try to figure out, number one, who do you want to meet and who don't you want to meet. And instead of like shooting for volume, like having some kind of ad that will get the most responses, what you really need to do is try to have an ad that will attract the people who you want to meet, and not attract the people who you don't want to meet, or at least let them know who you don't want to meet. A few days ago, I had a segment on relationships in 5-card stud, and a lot of this will apply there. Okay, so let's see where to start on this thing. Number one, a lot of women, well, let me see. You know, we're all a little different, thank goodness. And what maybe would appeal to me in seeing in an ad may not appeal to someone else, because they may be looking, you know, for a different person than who I might be looking for. I thought this was going to be easy, but anyway. Okay, where was I? I think one thing, we should never write these ads with any kind of deception at all. In other words, if you're 35, you're 35. If you're 65, you're 65, and that's it. And I think another thing too, we must realize that some men want to meet a woman who is a certain height or a certain weight or what have you, and similarly, you know, women have, you know, most likely the same kind of ideals, or whatever term you want to use. So for instance, if you're a guy who is 5'1" in weight and you weigh 320, you should put that out there. That doesn't mean that you aren't a nice person, and it doesn't mean there isn't someone out there who wants to meet you. But I think you should make it real clear. And conversely, if you're a lady who's 5'11", that's a fairly tall lady. There's nothing wrong with being a lady and being 5'11", for heaven's sakes. But a lot of guys, you know, would feel intimidated if they aren't 6 feet, 6'2", 6'3", 6'4". So the physical characteristics should be there, period. You know, you should have that out there. Let's see, what else? And try to, let me go to part 2.